everybody, it's Tony George along with Sean Salisbury, host of the Sean Salisbury Show on iHeartRadio. And Sean, our first NHL video we've done together and living out here in Las Vegas, there's a little bit of interest in this game tonight. Game 7. I'd be remiss in my duties if I did not admit publicly, and I already have on YouTube, but I had the Las Vegas Golden Knights, Sean, and you and I haven't talked since Wednesday, but I had the Vegas Knights as my game of the year in Game 6, and that didn't turn out very well for me. A controversial interference call, this, that, and the other, but you as a professional sports broadcaster on a very high level and playing at a professional level in sports, I'm sure you understand the wild card that is Game 7 of any series. This is when a number 1 can go down to a number 8, a number 2 can go down to number 7, and it doesn't surprise anybody because anything can happen. There's a lot of people out here in Las Vegas, Sean, nervous about this game tonight. The Golden Knights installed as a minus 175 favorite, and the total this morning has dropped down from 5.5 to 5. And if you want to play the under, which I like a little bit, you got to lay $1.30 to play that. Sean, winner take all tonight, Game 7. Your thoughts?
Well, I love this. I've stated many a time, not only on my show, but on any show I get a chance to, is that this is, if you were to draw it up and say playoffs are supposed to look like this, it's the Stanley Cup playoffs. It always is. And here we are in Game 7, which the Vegas Knights have never been in their infancy of a franchise. And the Minnesota Wild are, 3-0 in their franchise history in Game 7s. And while we say, well, what's the big deal? It's called Game 7. That's what the big deal is. You know, when you talk about goaltending and the sport now, Tony, we've got out of the point of football being all defense to win championships, right? It's now about the quarterback. We've got out of the baseball, well, it's just pitching the way guys mashed, although great pitching usually beats great hitting late in the postseason, right? Now you got hockey, and we can get to basketball too. If you got 3 of those big scores on Brooklyn, you got a chance to win, right? And get a couple stops on defense. But think about this: when a goaltender stands on his head, you're going to win. Last time I was in that Knights arena, I was there for games 1 and 2 against against Washington when Ovechkin got his first Stanley Cup. I was in the building and it was electric. And this hockey club, people thought, well, is it beginners? Like, no, they're real, and they're real all the time, and they're used to this playoff atmosphere every year. Now with a 3-1 lead and to surrender that, but I was talking about defense in hockey. Think about this now. The leading scorer, and I think the best offensive player in hockey, I know Matthew's good. Connor McDavid's the best offensive player in hockey. I mean, he just is. How many Stanley Cups he got, Tony?
Yeah.
How many Stanley Cups? Exactly. And as good as he is, right? And we're seeing it continue to elevate. And you saw Minnesota Wild get their leading scorer, elevates finally the last 2 games. Boom, here we are now 3-3 after a 3-1 lead. So it's going to come down to how they play, from Carlson and Marchessault and Fleury and goal. And to keep that under, I tend to lean with you. In Game 7s, guys are a little more uptight. The question is, or the answer needs to be, goaltenders can't be. Got to play defense to win in hockey as much as anything. Yeah, you got to score the puck, but I'm just telling you, when it's all said and done, physicality, knocking people around, and your goaltender standing on his head normally means you end up wearing a Stanley Cup or get to drink out of a Stanley Cup when it's all over. I like Las Vegas in this. This is no reason for me to believe they're not going to be able to handle their business in their first Game 7 in the infancy of the franchise. I like them, but I like a close one. Minnesota Wild have put the pressure on them, and that's a good thing in hockey. First round, Game 7, we're already talking about it. Unlike any other sport, man. Love it.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to take the Minnesota Wild. I am not going to back a team that can't score a goal last 2 games. I can't. Mark Stone isn't paying off right now, and I'll tell you something. You had 40 to 14 shots on goal in Game 6 or in Game 5, and you couldn't get one in. You couldn't get one in the last game. I think game sevens levels the playing field. Sean, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't care if it's a 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6 in any sport. When it's game 7, it levels the playing field. I mean, because it's to me, Vegas laying minus 175. And bear in mind, this is not a packed house. It's only half full. And it's still going to be wild down at the Fortress. I wish I was going. And I've been there for full houses, as you have here, many times here living in Las Vegas and having tickets and all this, that, and the other. I understand the home ice advantage here. But who's the pressure on, Sean? All the pressure's on Vegas. Minnesota's coming in here loose, biggest game of their life. They're not expected to win. I think a team, the way they've played, the way Cam Talbot has played in the net the last 2-3 games, I mean, basically the entire series, Sean, to give them plus 145 is a slap in the face.
Oh, I understand.
And I don't think they.
I get it. And the reason why I say it, that tells me something. And number one, well, they haven't been in game sevens. One thing I do know about about the Knights since they've been playing, they gear up for this stuff. They know how to handle these moments. Now, I know they didn't close out the Stanley Cup against, Ovi's team, but they've got veterans who get it. And you're exactly right about the Wild's goaltender. And when the one thing about momentum in hockey is those goaltenders get rolling, they will stay on their head. I couldn't agree more. But I guess maybe I'm putting a little more trust in the fact that it's very difficult to roll through 3 in a row. I mean, we saw what happened to the Pens in their series against the Islanders, but it's difficult when you're playing a good team that's a higher seed to hammer them 3 times in a row. It just is.
Yep.
And yep. I don't think Winnipeg. I don't think Las Vegas takes these for granted that they're spoiled because they keep getting into to the Stanley Cup playoffs. I don't think that their business is done yet, and I think they know that. Listen, if the goaltending of at home, if Vegas goaltenders play well, they're going to win by a couple goals tonight. I'm just telling you, they are. What time's that game? What time's that game, Tony? Is 7 o'clock on the West Coast, 7 or something?
Something like that.
Yeah. I believe that. I trust them. And I think there'll be energy in the building that even without a packed house, I think it'll be energetic. The question is, can the Wild continue this feeling of momentum going against a team that they're not supposed to beat? I'm going to stick with Las Vegas. I think that Fleury and those goaltending rears their head, and I think they're going to thump them around a little bit and hold the score down. But I think it's a close one. But I guess 2 goals is a big extension. But I think that Vegas can win by a couple goals tonight. I'm going to stick with them.
So could we agree? And by the way, folks, you don't want to disagree with Sean Salisbury. His leans have been 12-3 his last 15 on these videos over the last 3 weeks. He's got every handicapping company on the planet trying to hire him right now behind the scenes. He's not telling me yet, but I'm sure he's going to demand a raise here any day. But at the end of the day, that's called a contract renegotiation when you're still under contract, Sean. Yeah, happens in the NFL every day. Right. Could we agree on one thing on a consensus? Do you think this thing stays under 5?
3-1.
There you go.
3-1.
I will lay the 130 on the under 5. I think it's Sean's going to go with Vegas, and I'm going to lose a lot of friends and have to buy beers at the bar tonight when I go watch the game with my buddies because they watch these and they're going to know I took the other side. But I'm going to go contrarian here. 2-1, 3-1 game, one way or the other. I think it's a coin flip. Sean likes Vegas. I understand the reasons why, but until I see some offense out of them, I think it's going to be a tight game. We'll go consensus on the under. Be sure and get over to DocSports.com. Check out all the offerings we have. Take advantage of the free $60. Check out Sean at Sean Unfiltered. He's always got some great tweets up there, especially pertaining to his radio show. And by the way, your tweet on what should go on a hamburger, Sean, and you were only 11. Only 11% said bacon. What's the matter with people?
Yeah,
You're from Texas. You wrap your bacon in Texas, for crying out
yes,
loud.
and then you soak it in bacon grease, right? I don't
Yes.
listen, man. Bacon is like crack, okay, for us meat eaters, right?
Yeah.
I love bacon. Now, my first with a question and with a poll question, so answer it for me, Tony, is
Yeah.
since it's National Hamburger Day, what are these? I know all of those on there are a must. And maybe you might want more than one, like you may like onion on your
Right.
burger. But if you could only have one and eat that the rest of your life, basically, which one is it? Is it mustard, ketchup, cheese, or bacon? And your answer is, and a bacon is near the bottom, I think, right now, at least
Yeah.
as it's a 24-hour
11.
poll. So,
If I could only have one, I'd have to throw some mustard on it.
see, I think mustard, like on a ham sandwich, great. I think mustard on a burger is overwhelming. Mustard would be the fourth of those four for me.
Oh, really?
Ketchup, bacon. Yeah, I'd actually put mayo on a burger before mustard. A thin layer of mayo. Now I put mustard on it, but I think some people get so carried away on a hamburger with mustard. I'll take ketchup over mustard every day during the week and twice on 6 ways to Sunday, twice on Sunday, man. I love mustard. I love like spicy mustard on a dog. But for one, I'd probably say that a good cheese on a burger, if I couldn't have any of the other fixins or toppings or any of that, I'd probably have to go cheese. But you're right. How bacon's such a distant fourth is hard to fathom. Hard to fathom.
Unbelievable things you can find out. And by the way, you know, I'm going to give you a pass on this because you are a SoCal boy, and I'm from cow country. I'm from Nebraska. I'm from the Midwest. So, you know, I'm around more carnivores than you were growing up. Although this is one of these fun things that Sean does on Twitter for his show every day. Be sure and check him out at Sean Unfiltered, and check out our NBA video today as well. And well, for all my local friends, good luck to the Knights tonight, but I'm going to be cheering against you a little bit.